Hi friends, I'm Abby and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing my quarterly series check-in. So this is a video series that I do every quarter where I look back on everything that I have managed to do over the past 3 months. So for the months of October, November and December, and then some of my plans for the next 3 months, so January, February, March, just so I can keep myself accountable and see what I've achieved, so it's accomplishments, and also what I want to be working on. I don't know if this is a little bit superfluous because I did do my end of year full series wrap up and also a sort of 2025 plans, but I still wanted to do it anyway. And I think it was quite good, at least when I was going through it, going, oh yeah, that's coming out, yes, I need to do that, yes, that. So it did sort of help me, I think, prioritize a little bit from both of those lists, so I can go, oh yes, I did really achieve quite a lot in the final 3 months, and here's a snapshot of some of the things that are included in my 2025 plans, but just focused on the next 3 months. So looking back at what I managed to achieve, because I did pretty well, I would say, in the final 3 months of the year, that I managed to wrap up quite a few series. I mean, I did start a few, but the things that I managed to achieve in terms of wrapping up and continuing, I'm pretty proud of. I didn't realise I did so well until I started making the list, and I was like, oh wait, I finished that series and I finished that one and that one. So it was actually quite not comforting, but I was like, oh yes, you did an okay job there, Abby. Because in my head I'd just started loads of things, but actually I did finish quite a few. So I did finish 5 series in the final 3 months of the year, and considering I only finished 10 across the whole year, I think that's a very good number. So I'm very happy with that. So I will just dive into them, and I don't have loads of these to show because everything's in boxes still. We had a bit of a disaster. A little story time. I had a disaster with my boxes. So I think I'd explained in one of my videos that we've been storing our boxes in this very weird shower that we have off of the kitchen. We've decided it probably was for a pet shower. Anyway, they were all piled up there, 8 boxes of books, and we got back from holiday and the bottom box had collapsed in on itself. So I opened the door and all the boxes just fell on me. So we've had to relocate them a little bit and do some surgery on that broken box. Luckily, only a couple of books were damaged in the process. The things that I did manage to finish in the final 3 months. So I finished the Ending Fire series by Zara El Arifi by reading the final book, The Ending Fire. I do have a full series wrap up on this, so I can link that if you're more interested in my full thoughts on the series. I will also link all of my wrap ups for the final 3 months if you want to hear my full thoughts, because I will not be diving into the details of them today. So the October, November, December wrap ups will all be below, as well as the January TBR. Anyway, Ending Fire, I do have a series review, and another one where I have a series review and that I managed to wrap up by rereading the second book and reading the third one is the Bloodsworn Saga by John Gwynne. So I did wrap up that lovely series in October, and then November I took a break from wrapping things up until we went into December, where I managed to wrap up another 3 series. So I did manage to finish the Atlas series by Lily Blake by reading the Atlas Complex, the third and final book. Full thoughts in the December wrap up on this, but slightly disappointed. And I also managed to wrap up Darkness at Sethanon, which is the final book in the Magician series, or part of the Riftwar saga. So that's another one all wrapped up. Again, for thoughts in the December wrap up. And then the final one that I managed to finish by reading books 3, 4 and 5, so I think that was 1 per month, 1 in October, 1 in November, 1 in December, it is the Chestnut Springs series by Elsie Silver, which is a romance series, so they're all sort of standalone, but I guess I've now finished it. So I listened to all of those on audiobook. So those are the 5 series that I managed to wrap up over the final 3 months. I did also continue in 3 series. So I read the second book in the 5 Penalty series, which is A Cage of Dark Hours. So that was beginning of October, I think, so it's a little while ago now, but I did continue in that one, and it will be mentioned later on as well. I also continued in the Veronica Speedwell series, which is a series I've been reading throughout the whole of 2024. So I read book 7 and book 8. So I am now caught up on the paperback releases of the series. So you will see book 9 appearing in the next bit, but I am up to date on the copies that I have in my house. So really good progress here. I feel as though getting like 8 books in a whole series read in a year, I was pretty proud of that accomplishment, despite them being quite, you know, thin, small. And then the final one that I continued in and I'm now up to date on is the 3rd book in the Crowns of Nyaxia series, so The Songbird and the Heart of Stone by Carissa Broadbent. This is the 1st book in the next duology within this world, so I guess some people could count this as a first book. I don't really know how I want to count this. I don't know whether I want to count this as a 6-book series or as duologies, but because it is, yeah, book 1 in the Shadowborn duet, but book 3 in a wider universe. But anyway, however you count it, I have continued on in this world, awaiting the next release. So that is some excellent progress with some that I finished, some that I got up to date on, and we move. So then, moving into things that I started, because I definitely did start a few things. I definitely did, because I just got sucked in by new releases. And so everything that I started, I am up to date on, because they are new books that have recently come out, and I don't have the sequels. So they are all on my up-to-date series list, and I am just going to be waiting for the next release. But so it's definitely added to the ongoing pile. But for now, they're sort of like up to date, and I've just read the first one because that's all that's out. So I read The House at Watch Hill by Karen Marie Moning, which is the 1st book in the Watch Hill series. Thoroughly enjoyed it, would recommend it, and a highlight. Really enjoyed that one. Actually, I think all of these I really, really enjoyed. So it was like the move reading new releases pile of just things that I really thoroughly enjoyed. So although those went against some of my like plans to complete things and wrap things up and continue in things, I did have a lot of fun with all of these new releases and series that I've started. One that was not a new release, but still relatively new is Swordcatcher by Cassandra Clare, the 1st book in the Chronicles of Castellane series. So again, we'll see this one coming up because the 2nd book is coming out, but for now I'm up to date on the series and really thoroughly enjoyed it. I have I don't know if this is called the Bristol Keats series, but The Courting of Bristol Keats by Mary E. Pearson. So this is the 1st book in a duology. I don't think there's any news yet on when that sequel is coming out. I'm hoping it's going to be in 2025 sometime, but we shall see when. If not, I'll have to wait, but I did thoroughly enjoy this one. And then the most recent one that I started, well, at the end of December, is Quicksilver by Callie Hart. I think this is a fantasy romance trilogy. I don't think we've had any news on the 2nd book in this series. I think when this was self-pubbed, it was meant to be coming out in 2024, so I'm hoping it will come out in 2025, but who knows? I haven't really been keeping up to date with it, but we shall see. We shall see on this one. So that is everything that I have wrapped up, continued and completed. No, wrapped up, continued and started in the final 3 months of 2024. Now moving into 2025 and some of the things that I hope to get to and hope to work on. So I've sort of separated this out into 2 lists. The third part of this being continuing and completing series that I already have on the go, and the next bit being some new things that I want to bring into the mix. So in terms of continuing and wrapping things up, there are quite a few things completing that I have on my on-the-go series list in the next 3 months. So those are definitely going to be top priority so that I can wrap those series up. And also quite a few continuations that are going to be coming out as well. So I do intend to get to, I think, all of these. And that will hopefully as well really make me feel positive about my on-the-go series list, because I should be able to get it down. I say that, but then there's loads of things that I want to start. Anyway, in February, the 3rd and final book in the Emily Wilde series is coming out. I think it's called Emily Wilde, A Compendium of Lost Tales. That one's by Heather Fawcett. I have adored books 1 and 2 in that series. Absolutely loved them. I read them both in 2023. Adored that series. So far, just, I can't wait. I find them so enchanting to read. Anyway, that 3rd and final book, I mean, if it wasn't the final book, I wouldn't even care. Like, I could just keep going in that world. Like, I just could have more and more and more. Anyway, that one is coming out in February. Another one that is going to be completing is the 5 Penalties series. I've forgotten the name of this book again. The Teeth of Dawn, I think it is. I don't know what is it with that book, but the title just doesn't seem to stick. That one's by Marina Lostetta. I absolutely adored in 2024 the Helm of Midnight and The Cage of Dark Hours, the first 2 books, and I'm really excited to see how that's going to conclude. That's coming out at the end of January, so I anticipate that will probably be a February read. And then also wrapping up Goldfinch, the sixth and final book in the Play to Prison series by Raven Kennedy. That book is already released, but it's out in hardback and I'm reading them all in paperback. So the paperback comes out the endish of March, so hopefully I'll be able to get to that if I'm in the mood at the end of March. If not, it'll be early April, but then I can wrap that series up. And speaking of wrapping up some fantasy romances, one that I am currently working on in January is A Dawn of Gods and Fury by K.A. Tucker, the fourth and final book in that series. So those are 4 series that I'm hoping to get all wrapped up in and finished in the next 3 months. I then also do have some continuations that are coming out, which won't finish series, but I will be able to get up to date in them. So in January, one of the quite highly anticipated ones is Onyx Storm, the 3rd book in the Fourth Wing series, which I do intend to get to probably in January so I can avoid spoilers, and I just hope that I've not forgotten too much. In February, Cursebound, the 2nd book in the Feybound series by Zara Larifi, is coming out. I liked Feybound, but I feel as though hopefully we can see how Cursebound does, because I feel as though this is going to be my deciding factor on if I continue on with the series or not. If I like Cursebound, then it's going to be all positive. If not, then I might just cut my losses with that one. And then the 9th book in the Veronica Speedwell series is coming out in paperback in February, so I hopefully will be able to get to that one and continue to be up to date in that series. I don't think there's been any news on book 10 or how many books are going to be in the series. I still don't know. But that 9th book definitely has a paperback release date in February, so I can then continue and just be up to date in that one. Editing Abby, just adding in here, I seem to have forgotten, not sure how or why, because it's one I'm really anticipating, the Ragpicker King by Cassandra Clare, which is the 2nd book in the Chronicles of Castellane series, which is coming out in March. So that is another sequel that I can read when it releases. So that is everything, I believe, that I can work on and complete with the new releases, because the challenge is that I don't want to be buying too many books because I want to be working on my physical TBR, but I'm a series reader, so you have to keep buying books because you read one and actually you're having to buy another 2 to complete the series. It's quite frustrating for the TBR because it means it goes down slowly because you have to keep buying things. Anyway, some of the other things that I have on the potentials to be working on over the next 3 months, including some new things, and I will say some of these I've already started, so spoilers a little bit, but I have been doing a lot of reading in January because I've just been on holidays, so I've done a lot of reading. So a lot of these are already on the go, we're already doing the job. I am currently working on a Throne of Glass reread. I have started listening to these as audiobooks. I haven't reread them in many years. I'm having a lot of fun. I've just started Crown at Midnight. I had started that in December, so you sort of knew it was coming. I am working my way through that, and I will continue to work through that over the next 3 months. I don't know where I'm going to get to in the next 3 months. Hopefully I'll make some good progress on the series, and I will see. I'm not setting I want to read 3, 4, 5. I'm not setting a sort of deadline on it. It's just however many I get through whilst I'm doing my marathon training. That's what I'm using them for. I would like to, this is sort of a standalone sort of series. I would like to work on the standalones within the First Law universe over the next 3 months. So the one I have is Best Served Cold. I would like to make some good headway with J. Abercrombie's books this year, and to do that, I need to read the one that I have. I don't actually have any of the other ones just yet, but I think it's 3 standalones, then I can move into the next trilogy. So Best Served Cold is the next one, and hopefully that can be done this month. Not this month, well, hopefully this month, but definitely in this quarter. One that I don't have on my January TBR, but I do want to get back to it, is the Burning Kingdom series by Tasha Suri. Part of me is thinking I might reread the Jasmine Throne before getting to the Oleander Sword, which I think might improve my enjoyment, just because I feel as though I've forgotten so many things. But I would like to get back to this series and wrap it up, because I do have both the Oleander Sword and the Lotus Empire, so get back into this series. Hopefully, maybe I could reread the Jasmine Throne maybe in February or March, and then continue on with this series 1 book a month after that. And then a couple of things, spoilers, have been read already, but then I do want to continue on in both of these series throughout the rest of this quarter. I started the Temerai series by Naomi Novik. after reading Buried Deep in December and being like just really tempted to read more Naomi Novik. So this is a 9-book series, I believe, which was not in the plans. I did not plan to start a very long series this year, but I have. So I think this is going to take the place of what Veronica Speedwell was last year. So I'm like easy, shorter, like short books, long series. Tomorrow's been read, but I need to figure out sort of fitting in potentially book 2 and 3, like one in February, one in March, we shall see. But this one, and then another one where I've already read the first book but definitely do want to continue, is the Lady of Darkness series by Melissa K. Rorick. So the first book has been read in January, but I definitely think I want to read the second book February or March and continue with this. I'm reading this as part of Becca and Books like Patreon book club, so continuing on in this series over the next quarter. And then my other idea, one that I would definitely want to get to in January, is The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon. This will be a reread. I've read the first 2 books before and I'm overdue, I guess, continuing on with the series. The 5th book comes out in February. I have not read books 3 and 4. It is a 7-book series, so I definitely do have time, but I just need to figure out getting back to this. I really do want to. It's been calling to me since like November time. It started, it's like Siren Song, so definitely do want to get to this one. So I think that's everything that I pulled out. Otherwise, I am wanting to do like a tackle the shelves, bookshelf ultimatum. If you could give me an idea on a name of whatever I want to call this, like tackle the TBR, whatever the name is, tackle this. So I don't know if I try and do something a bit more randomized in terms of picking books, and that will probably end up being a series because a lot of this is series. So I am wanting to start doing that in this next quarter. We shall see how that works. I think my immediate aim is to get it down to 2 shelves, but we shall see what happens because my proper bookshelves are being built in January. So I don't quite know what my setup is going to be once that's done, whether I keep my TBR on here so it's fully separate or if I put everything in there. But anyway, I want to definitely start reducing this and targeting this and getting this down, which goes against all the things that I need to buy to complete my series, but definitely do want to work on lowering this TBR because that is one of my big aims for the year. So that's a wrap on the series check-in. Let me know how your reading of your series has been going over the past few months, or if you managed to wrap lots of things up before the end of the year, and some of your plans for the next 3 months. I definitely feel at the beginning of the year I just go crazy and I want to start so many things because I'm like, it's new year, new series. So let me know if you're in the same like mentality as that, and if you've read any of these and your thoughts on any of them. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my future videos. Bye.